Welcome to Botswana, a land of diamonds and deltas. In the heart of southern Africa lies a nation of remarkable contrasts. It is a place where vast, arid landscapes give way to one of the world's most extraordinary inland deltas. This is Botswana. Our journey begins by looking at a map of the African continent. Here, nestled amongst its neighbors, we find this landlocked country, a jewel of stability and natural wonder. Its story is woven into the very fabric of its geography. From the sprawling sands of the Kalahari Desert to the life-giving waters that flow from the north. This is a land shaped by ancient rhythms, where nature still holds sway, and human history is deeply intertwined with the environment. We will explore its capital city, Gaborone, a modern and growing hub of commerce and governance. We will also look at its national flag, a symbol of hope and unity. The light blue represents water, a precious resource in this largely dry country, invoking the Setswana word pula, which means rain, blessing, and is also the name of the nation's currency. The black and white bands in the center symbolize the harmony and cooperation between people of different races who live together in peace. This flag beautifully captures the essence of a nation that values both its natural wealth and its social cohesion, a testament to its peaceful journey to independence. Botswana is home to a relatively small population of just over 2.5 million people, creating a sense of immense space and wilderness. While English is the official language used in business and government, the soul of the nation speaks Setswana, a language that connects the majority of its people to their shared heritage. It is this combination of a small population and a vast wild landscape that makes Botswana unique. It has allowed nature to flourish in ways rarely seen elsewhere on our planet. The country has become a sanctuary for some of Africa's most iconic wildlife, a direct result of a stable, democratic government that has prioritized conservation. This nation presents a narrative of success and foresight. It is a story of how a country, once one of the poorest in the world, transformed its fortunes through the discovery of diamonds and careful management of its resources. But its true treasure is not buried underground. It is found in the untamed expanses of the Kalahari, in the tranquil channels of the Okavango Delta, and in the spirit of its people. Join us as we journey through this remarkable land to understand why Botswana stands as a beacon of hope for both wildlife and humanity, a place of serene beauty and enduring strength. Botswana is situated in the very center of the southern African plateau, a vast, landlocked nation defined by its unique geographical position. It shares its borders with 4 other countries. To the south and southeast lies the Republic of South Africa, with which it shares its longest border, over 1,800 kilometers. This has fostered deep historical and economic ties. To the west and north, Botswana is bordered by Namibia, bordered largely by the arid Kalahari Desert. The desert has shaped movement of people and wildlife for millennia. To the northeast, Botswana shares a significant border with Zimbabwe. That frontier is a gateway for trade and migration. In the far north is a very short border. At Kazungula, the borders of 4 countries meet at a point in the middle of the Zambezi River. Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Zambezi River. Botswana shares only about 150 meters with Zambia. A bridge now spans that link, vital for transport and commerce. The country covers around 581,000 square kilometers, similar in size to France or the state of Texas. With a small population, that area becomes one of the lowest population densities in the world. Much of the land is wilderness, underscoring conservation efforts. Travel relies on well-maintained roads linking major towns and cities, especially the Eastern Corridor. For longer distances, air travel is essential. Airport, Gaborone. Airport, Maun. Airport, Kasana. Being landlocked has shaped Botswana's history and development. Without a coastline, it depends on neighbors for sea access. Botswana has fostered stable relationships and invested in infrastructure to connect to the wider world. Its central location makes it a crossroads for southern Africa, a meeting place of cultures, and a sanctuary for wildlife roaming unfenced landscapes. This geographic heartland is the stage for Botswana's continuing story. While much of Botswana is a vast wilderness, its people have established vibrant urban centers that serve as hubs of governance, commerce, culture. The capital, Gaborone, located in the southeast near the South African border, is the nation's largest city. It is a relatively young city, established in the mid-1960s to be the seat of government for the newly independent nation. Gaborone has grown rapidly from a small village into a bustling modern metropolis. It is the economic and administrative heart of the country, home to the national government, the stock exchange, the headquarters of numerous businesses. Its orderly streets and modern architecture reflect the nation's stability and prosperity. Further north lies Francistown, Botswana's second-largest city and one of its oldest settlements. Its origins are tied to the first gold rush in southern Africa in the late 19th century, and it has long served as a vital hub for industry and transport. Situated at the confluence of the Tati and Inchwe rivers, Francistown is a key link on the road and rail routes connecting Botswana to Zimbabwe and the north. It remains a crucial center for mining, commerce, and logistics. A hard-working city with a rich history that contrasts with the more administrative feel of the capital, Gaborone. It is a gateway to the north and a testament to Botswana's industrial heritage. Maun is perhaps the most famous of Botswana's towns, known internationally as the tourism capital. Located on the southern edge of the magnificent Okavango Delta, it is the primary gateway for travelers venturing into this world-renowned wilderness. What was once a rustic frontier cattle town has transformed into a bustling hub filled with safari companies, charter flight operators, and lodges. Despite its growth, Maun retains a unique and adventurous atmosphere. It is a place where the modern world meets the untamed wild, where safari vehicles are as common as family cars, and the rhythm of life is dictated by the pulse of the tourism seasons and the flooding of the delta. Other important towns include Kasane, Serowe, Ganzi. Kasane, in the far north, is another critical tourism hub, positioned where the four countries of Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe meet. It provides access to the incredible wildlife of Chobe National Park. Serowe, in the central district, is one of the largest traditional villages in Africa and the historic capital of the Bamangwato people, offering a deep insight into Tswana culture and heritage. It is the birthplace of Botswana's first president, Sir Seretse Khama. Meanwhile, Ganzi, in the heart of the Kalahari, is the center of the country's cattle farming industry, a rugged town that embodies the spirit of the vast, arid West. Botswana's landscape is dominated by one immense geographical feature, the Kalahari Desert. This vast semi-arid savanna covers more than 70% of the country, stretching across its central and southwestern regions. Contrary to the image of a barren wasteland of shifting sand dunes, the Kalahari is a complex ecosystem: grasses, scrub bush, acacia trees. It supports a surprising diversity of specially adapted wildlife. This ancient desert is not defined by a lack of life, but by a lack of surface water. Its sandy soils absorb rainfall instantly, leaving a dry surface that hides the moisture locked beneath, a world away from the wetland wonders found in the north. In stark contrast to the dry Kalahari is the Okavango Delta. Located in the northwest, this is the world's largest inland delta. Each year, floodwaters originating in the Angolan highlands flow down the Okavango River and spill out into the flat plains of the Kalahari. Channels, lagoons, islands that covers over 15,000 square kilometers. This annual pulse of water transforms the arid landscape into a lush green paradise, attracting one of the greatest concentrations of wildlife in all of Africa. It is a true oasis, an inland sea in a desert land. Another of Botswana's striking landscapes is the Makgadikgadi Pans. These are the spectral remnants of a gigantic super lake that dried up thousands of years ago. For most of the year, The Pans are a desolate, blindingly white expanse of salt-crusted earth, mirages and silence. It is one of the largest salt flats in the world, a seemingly lifeless landscape. Yet, with the arrival of the seasonal rains, this harsh environment is transformed. Flamingos, other migratory birds, surrounding grasslands burst into life. Zebra, wildebeest. The lifeblood of these remarkable landscapes is the country's major rivers. The Okavango River creates the delta, bringing life from another country. In the north, the Chobe River forms the border with Namibia's Caprivi Strip, famous for its enormous herds of elephants that congregate on its banks. In the east, the Limpopo River, a great artery of southern Africa, forms part of the border with South Africa. While Botswana is a predominantly flat country with few mountains of note, it does have some modest highlands, such as the Tsodilo Hills in the northwest. These hills, known as the Louvre of the Desert, rise abruptly from the plains and are a sacred site, adorned with thousands of ancient rock paintings. The rhythm of rain, climate and natural cycles. Botswana's climate is largely semi-arid, long, pronounced dry season, shorter, unpredictable, rainy season. This rhythm dictates cycles of life for people and wildlife. The dry season typically runs from April to October. Clear blue skies, abundant sunshine, cooler temperatures. June, July, August, cold nights and early mornings, temperatures near freezing, especially in the Kalahari. Wildlife concentrates around permanent water sources. Prime time for game viewing. The rainy or green season begins in November, lasts until March. Higher temperatures, increased humidity, short, dramatic afternoon thunderstorms. Rains turn dusty plains to vibrant green grasses, wildflowers. Renewal and birth. Many animals give birth during the rains. Rains can make dirt roads impassable, but bring unique beauty, attract migratory birds, paint the landscape lush and vivid. The Okavango follows a delayed timetable. Floodwaters start in the Angolan highlands, January, February, March. Waters travel over 1,000 kilometers, arrive around April, May. Flood peaks in Botswana's dry season, June, July, August. At the driest time, the delta is most flooded, drawing animals from hundreds of kilometers. Seasonal variation impacts life and travel. Dry winter, optimal for traditional safaris near rivers and waterholes. Green season rewards. Fewer tourists, lower prices. Chance to witness newborn animals, dramatic thunderstorms. For birdwatchers, this season is unparalleled. Understanding wet and dry rhythm and the Okavango cycle reveals Botswana's dynamic natural character. It demands patience and adaptation, rewarding those who respect its power. Part 3. Act 2. People, Culture and History, about 5 section. The people of Botswana, a nation of nations. Botswana is a country of wide open spaces. This is reflected in its population. Just over 2.5 million people, one of the least densely populated nations on Earth. The population is growing steadily, driven by improvements in healthcare and a stable developing economy. Most people live in the Eastern Corridor. The corridor hosts the main railway line, Gaborone, Francistown. The Kalahari in central and western Botswana is sparsely inhabited, vast wilderness and solitude, central to national character and conservation appeal. Botswana's cultural landscape is rich and diverse, dominated by one major ethnic group. The Tswana people, or Batswana, make up nearly 80%. The Tswana are composed of several major clans, each with its own history and traditional leadership. Shared Setswana language and cultural heritage form the bedrock of national identity. English is the official language of government, business and education. Setswana is the national language spoken by the vast majority daily. It is the language of the home, the village and the heart, a unifying thread that weaves through the nation's social fabric. Beyond Tswana, other ethnic groups add unique threads to the national tapestry. In the northwest, Wayayi, Hambukushu, connected to the rivers and floodplains of the Okavango Delta. The Kalanga people in the northeast, have links to the powerful kingdoms of ancient Zimbabwe. The Kalahari is home to the San people, the Basawa. Their hunter-gatherer traditions and ecological knowledge tie them to the land across thousands of years. The government promotes a national identity transcending ethnic lines. The term Botswana can refer to any citizen. This inclusive approach underpins stability and social harmony. It allows celebration of a unified national culture while respecting diverse minority traditions and languages. Modern Botswana balances unity and diversity, a cohesive, culturally multifaceted nation of nations living in peace. A peaceful path from Bechuanaland to Botswana. The history of Botswana is a story of resilience, diplomacy, and a remarkably peaceful transition to self-rule. Before the arrival of European powers, the area was inhabited by various communities: hunter-gatherer, San, and pastoralist Khoi. From the 17th century onwards, various Tswana-speaking groups migrated into the region from the south and from the east, gradually establishing themselves as the dominant agricultural and political force, organized into powerful chiefdoms centered around well-organized villages. They created a sophisticated society based on cattle farming, crop cultivation, and a unique system of customary law and governance. The 19th century brought immense challenges. The region was destabilized by the Mefekan, a period of widespread conflict and migration. At the same time, Boer trekkers were expanding northwards from the Cape Colony, while European missionaries and traders made inroads. Facing these external pressures, three great Tswana chiefs, Khama III of the Bangwato, Sebele I of the Bakwena, and Bathoendra of the Bangwaketsi. In 1885, they travelled to London to petition the British government for protection. Their diplomatic mission was successful, and their lands became the British protectorate of Bechuanaland, securing them from outside annexation. For the next 80 years, Bechuanaland remained under British protection, a period of relative neglect with little investment in infrastructure or education. However, this period allowed traditional Tswana structures of governance and social life to remain largely intact. The chiefs retained significant authority. The traditional way of life, centered on cattle and community, continued, laying a strong foundation for a stable, self-reliant future. As the winds of change swept across Africa in the mid-20th century, the desire for self-determination grew. Led by figures like Sir Seretse Khama, a chief of the Bangwato and a key architect of independence, the movement towards self-rule was managed through negotiation, not conflict. On September 30th, 1966, the Protectorate of Bechuanaland peacefully became the independent Democratic Republic of Botswana. At the time of independence, it was one of the poorest countries in the world, with only a few kilometers of paved road and a handful of university graduates. Yet its peaceful transition and its commitment to democracy and good governance set the stage for one of Africa's greatest success stories. Botswana's success as a stable multi-party democracy is deeply rooted in its pre-colonial traditions of governance. The country operates as a democratic republic with a parliamentary system. The National Assembly is the legislative body, and its members are elected by the people every 5 years. The leader of the party with the majority of seats in the assembly becomes the president, who serves as both the head of state and the head of government. This modern system, inherited from the British model, has been successfully adapted to the local context and has ensured a consistent record of free and fair elections, rule of law, and respect for human rights since independence, a remarkable achievement on the continent. The current president of Botswana is Mokgweetsi Masisi, who has been in office since 2018. As president, he continues a legacy of leadership that has historically prioritized prudent economic management, social development, and conservation. The government's stability has been a key factor in attracting foreign investment and building the nation's wealth, primarily from its vast diamond resources. This political continuity, combined with a strong anti-corruption stance, has allowed Botswana to invest heavily in public services like education and healthcare, transforming the quality of life for its citizens and building a prosperous upper-middle-income economy from the ground up in just a few decades. Alongside the modern parliamentary system exists a parallel and highly influential institution, the Kgotla. The Kgotla is a traditional public meeting place, usually located in the center of a village, where community matters are discussed and decided upon. It is a forum for consultation, dispute resolution, and justice, presided over by the local chief, or Kgosi. This system embodies the Tswana principles of democracy and consensus building, summarized by the proverb Kgosi ke Kgosi ke Batho. A chief is a chief by the will of the people. Any member of the community can speak at the Kgotla, ensuring that leadership remains accountable and decisions reflect the collective will. This unique blend of modern and traditional governance is one of Botswana's greatest strengths. The Kgotla system has been formally integrated into the national structure through the Ntlo ya Digosi, or House of Chiefs, an advisory body to the Parliament on matters of tradition and custom. This ensures that the wisdom of customary law informs modern legislation and that the country's development does not lose touch with its cultural roots. This dual system provides a powerful mechanism for social cohesion, allowing Botswana to navigate the challenges of modernity while staying grounded in the democratic and consultative values that have defined its people for centuries. The spiritual landscape of Botswana is predominantly Christian, a legacy of 19th century missionary activity. Today, over 70% identify as Christian, with many denominations present: mainstream Protestant, Catholic, African Independent, Evangelical. Christianity shapes public life and social values. Major Christian holidays are observed nationally. Church gatherings are key social events in urban and rural areas. Alongside Christianity are traditional beliefs called Badimo. Badimo reveres ancestors. Ancestors act as intermediaries to a supreme creator, Modimo. Ancestors are believed to watch over and guide the living. They can show displeasure if traditions are neglected. Many Botswana blend Christian worship with ancestral ceremonies. Rituals mark life milestones, births, marriages, funerals. Newborns may be introduced to the ancestors. Rituals may be held if someone falls ill. Traditional healers, Dingaka, are central. Dingaka communicate with the spiritual world. They use natural remedies, muti, to heal physical ailments, emotional ailments, spiritual ailments. Their role complements modern medicine. This syncretism is a hallmark of spiritual life in Botswana. It blurs sacred and secular and ties community across generations. People draw from both Christian and ancestral traditions. The result is a rich, enduring spiritual identity. The echoes of ancestors never truly silent. The culture of Botswana is expressed through a rich array of traditions and powerful national symbols that reflect the nation's values and history. Among the most cherished symbols is the national flag, adopted in 1966. Its design is a profound statement of the nation's aspirations. The light blue background represents water, or pula in Setswana, which is not only the word for rain, but also for blessing and the name of the national currency, highlighting its preciousness in a semi-arid land. The central black stripe, bordered by two thin white stripes, symbolizes the people of Botswana living together in harmony and peace, regardless of race, and also represents the stripes of a zebra, the national animal. The coat of arms is another powerful symbol, rich with meaning. It features a shield held up by two zebras. One zebra holds an elephant tusk, representing the nation's precious wildlife and former ivory trade, while the other holds a stalk of sorghum, a staple crop representing agriculture. The shield itself contains 3 cogwheels symbolizing industry, 3 waves symbolizing water, and the head of a bull symbolizing the immense cultural and economic importance of cattle. At the bottom, a banner proclaims the national motto, Pula, Together, these symbols create a visual narrative of a nation that values its natural heritage, its agricultural roots, its industrial future, and the life-giving rain that sustains them all. Daily life and tradition are also embodied in the national dress. The most iconic fabric is known as letezi or shweshwe, a printed dyed cotton fabric traditionally in indigo, red or brown, featuring intricate geometric patterns. Originally introduced by German settlers, it has been wholeheartedly adopted and transformed into a symbol of Tswana identity. Women fashion it into beautiful dresses, skirts and head wraps, often worn for special occasions like weddings and cultural festivals. This vibrant attire is more than just clothing, it is a celebration of cultural identity, a colourful thread that connects modern Botswana to their shared heritage and expresses a sense of pride and belonging. Many festivals and ceremonies celebrate this rich culture. The Dithubaruba Cultural Festival, for instance, celebrates the heritage of the Bakwena people, while the Matisong Festival in Gaborone is a major arts festival showcasing music, dance and theatre from across the country and the continent. Central to many cultural expressions is the role of cattle. Owning cattle has traditionally been the primary measure of wealth and social standing. They are essential for bogadi, bride wealth, used in ceremonies to honor ancestors, and are a source of immense pride. This deep connection to cattle is a fundamental part of the nation's psyche, a tradition that endures even as the country modernizes. Botswana's economic story is one of Africa's most remarkable transformations, a journey from poverty to prosperity driven largely by a single glittering resource. The main industry and the bedrock of the national economy is diamond mining. Shortly after independence, vast diamond reserves were discovered, and the government entered into a partnership with mining companies to exploit them. This prudent management ensured that the wealth generated from these mines flowed back into the nation's coffers. This income has been used to build infrastructure, provide free education, healthcare, and create one of the most stable and successful economies on the continent, earning it an upper middle income status. The country's main exports are a direct reflection of this economic foundation. Diamonds, in their rough form and polished forms, account for the vast majority of export earnings, making the nation's financial health highly dependent on the global diamond market. Another significant export is beef, as Botswana has a modern and well-regulated cattle industry that exports high-quality meat, primarily to Europe. In contrast, the country's imports consist of goods it cannot produce itself. These include fuel and petroleum products, machinery and transport equipment to support its mining and construction sectors, and a significant amount of foodstuffs, as its arid climate limits large-scale agricultural production. This heavy reliance on diamonds, while profitable, is also a vulnerability. The government is acutely aware of the risks of a single commodity economy and has made significant efforts to diversify. Tourism is a key pillar of this strategy, leveraging the country's incredible wildlife and pristine natural landscapes to attract high-value, low-impact visitors from around the world. Other sectors being developed include financial services, manufacturing, and information technology. The goal is to build a more resilient and sustainable economy that can continue to provide for its citizens long after the last diamond has been mined, securing the nation's future prosperity. The overall economic status of Botswana is impressive. It consistently ranks as one of the least corrupt countries in Africa, which fosters a stable environment for business and investment. The national currency, the pula, is one of the continent's stronger and more stable currencies. The nation's GDP has shown consistent growth for decades, allowing for public investments that have dramatically improved the Human Development Index. This story of careful resource management, stable governance, and strategic planning provides a powerful model for sustainable development, demonstrating how natural wealth can be harnessed to uplift an entire nation, a land of giants, wildlife, and conservation. Botswana is a sanctuary for some of the most spectacular wildlife on the African continent, a status it has earned through a far-sighted and unwavering commitment to conservation. The country has set aside over a third of its land national parks, game reserves, wildlife management areas, creating vast, unfenced ecosystems where animals can roam freely. The Okavango Delta is the jewel in this crown, a UNESCO World Heritage Site teeming with life. Here one can find large prides of lions, elusive leopards, the endangered African wild dog. The waterways are home to thousands of hippos, some of the largest crocodiles in Africa. Herds of buffalo and liqui graze on the lush floodplains. The country is perhaps most famous for its elephants. Botswana is home to the world's largest single population of African elephants, with estimates suggesting over 130,000 individuals. Chobe National Park in the north is the best place to witness this phenomenon. During the dry season, enormous herds congregate along the Chobe River, creating a truly breathtaking spectacle. Beyond these giants, the Kalahari Desert supports its own unique array of specially adapted species. Meerkats standing sentinel, the elusive brown hyena, the majestic gemsbok with its long, spear-like horns, all perfectly suited to this harsh, arid environment. This incredible biodiversity is protected by a strong national conservation policy. Botswana has long been a leader in conservation, implementing a nationwide hunting ban on public lands to help wildlife populations recover and stabilize. The country's tourism model focuses on high-value, low-volume tourism, minimizing environmental impact while generating significant revenue for conservation and local communities. National parks like the Central Kalahari Game Reserve and the Moremi Game Reserve in the Okavango Delta are managed to protect these vital wildernesses for future generations. This dedication to wildlife is not just about preservation, it is also about coexistence. As human populations grow, human-wildlife conflict can become a challenge, particularly in communities living near the parks. The government and various non-governmental organizations work on solutions to help farmers protect their livestock from predators and their crops from elephants. These initiatives are crucial for ensuring that the people of Botswana, who live alongside this magnificent natural heritage, continue to see the value in protecting it. It is a delicate balance, but one that Botswana is determined to maintain, securing its reputation as a true haven for wildlife. The taste and rhythm of a nation, food, sport, arts. The culture of Botswana is expressed not just in its history, but in the vibrant daily life of its people through the food they eat, the sports they love, and the music they create. The national dish is called seswere. It is made from beef, goat, lamb, slow-cooked in a three-legged iron pot for hours until tender, salted and pounded with a large wooden pestle, soft, shredded texture, served with pap or with samp, crushed, cooked corn kernels, the heart of any traditional feast. Football is by far the most popular sport in Botswana. The national team, the Zebras, inspires passionate support. Local league matches draw enthusiastic crowds. Children play football in dusty village clearings and on city streets. Other sports, athletics, middle-distance runners bring international acclaim. Cricket, softball, the heartbeat of the nation, music and dance, traditional Tswana choirs in call and response, complex vocal harmonies and rhythms clapped by hand, dances telling stories at cultural ceremonies, Kwaito Kwasa, a new energetic fusion, blending local rhythms, South African Kwaito and Congolese Kwasa Kwasa. Popular with youth, soundtrack to celebrations, tourism offers visitors a chance to experience all these facets of Botswana's culture. Beyond the classic wildlife safaris, tourists can glide through the Okavango channels in a Mokoro. They can visit cultural villages and crafts, or journey to the Tsodilo Hills, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Louvre of the Desert for its thousands of ancient rock paintings. At night, the clear, unpolluted skies of the Kalahari offer some of the most spectacular stargazing in the world. A serene and humbling end to a day in this land of diverse wonders. A jewel of stability and wilderness. In our journey through Botswana, we have uncovered a nation of profound contrasts and remarkable achievements. It is a country defined by its stability, a peaceful democracy, a beacon of good governance for over half a century. We have seen how this stability is rooted in traditional consensus and modern democratic principles. That mix has allowed the nation to flourish. It has transformed itself from one of the world's poorest countries into a prosperous upper-middle-income state. This success story was built upon the careful management of its diamond wealth, a powerful lesson in foresight and responsible leadership, showcasing how natural resources can be harnessed for the benefit of all citizens. Beyond its political and economic success, Botswana is a land of breathtaking natural beauty. The arid, sun-scorched plains of the Kalahari Desert, the life-giving labyrinthine waterways of the Okavango Delta. These unique landscapes, so different yet so intertwined, host some of the greatest concentrations of wildlife left on Earth. The image of vast elephant herds gathering at the Chobe River, the roar of a lion echoing across the savannah, or the silent grace of a mokoro gliding through a lily-covered lagoon. Botswana's commitment to preserving these natural treasures is not just a policy, it is a core part of its national identity. This is also a nation held together by a strong and welcoming culture. The people of Botswana, the Botswana, are known for their warmth, humility, and deep respect for tradition. We have seen how the principles of community and consultation embodied in the Kotla system continue to shape society. From the vibrant patterns of the Letesi dress to the communal joy of preparing seswa for a celebration. These cultural threads are woven deeply into daily life, providing a sense of belonging and continuity. In summary, Botswana presents a complete and compelling picture, a place where a thriving modern economy coexists with ancient wilderness, where a forward-thinking government protects natural and cultural heritage with equal passion. A rare combination that makes Botswana a truly special destination. It has not had to choose between development and conservation. It made them partners. It stands as a testament to what can be achieved with peace, prudence, and profound respect for the land and its inhabitants. It is, in every sense, a jewel of stability and wilderness. A call to curiosity, the future of Botswana. So why should this landlocked nation in the heart of southern Africa command our attention? It is because Botswana offers a vision of hope and a profound connection to a world that is rapidly disappearing. For the traveler seeking authentic adventure, it promises safety and a genuine wilderness experience that is increasingly rare. Here, one can witness nature on a grand and unspoiled scale, far from the crowds, in a country that prioritizes low-impact tourism and high-quality tourism. A place to disconnect from the noise of the modern world and reconnect with the ancient rhythms of the earth, to feel the immense silence of the Pans and the vibrant pulse of the Delta's lifeblood. For those interested in culture and society, Botswana provides a fascinating study in success. It demonstrates that democracy can take deep root in African soil and that natural resource wealth does not have to be a curse. The warmth and dignity of the Botswana people offer a deep cultural immersion, a chance to learn from a society that values community respect and harmony. Exploring its history, from the diplomatic foresight of its 19th century chiefs to its peaceful path to independence, it is a country that invites you not just to see, but to understand and to learn from its remarkable journey. Looking to the future, Botswana faces the critical challenge of balancing its continued economic development with the preservation of its pristine environment. The nation is actively working to diversify its economy beyond diamonds, seeking sustainable growth in tourism, financial services, and agriculture. The core of this challenge will be to ensure that progress does not come at the cost of the very wilderness that makes Botswana unique. Protecting its water resources, managing human-wildlife coexistence, and empowering local communities to benefit directly from conservation will be the key tasks for the next generation of leaders, ensuring the legacy of foresight continues, child from a local Botswana community smiling. We end our journey with a simple call to curiosity. Whether you are a student of politics, a lover of wildlife, or a seeker of serene landscapes, Botswana has a story for you. Consider this remarkable country for your next adventure, your next field of study, or simply as a source of inspiration. It is a reminder that with vision, respect for nature, and a commitment to peace, a nation can build a prosperous future while safeguarding its most precious treasures. Botswana is more than just a destination. It is a bright and enduring example of hope for the future of both humanity and the wild world we share.